Right now at 5:30, tracking Tropical Storm Debbie. The storm over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, expected to make landfall in Florida as a hurricane.
And while our area is not in the cone, we are definitely going to be feeling the impacts. Plenty of thunderstorms overnight. And take a look at this video of lightning out of Vero Beach. Wow.
Yeah, Florida Power and Light crews, they are keeping a close eye on things, not just locally, but also across the region. The proactive steps that are being taken now ahead of a landfall.
Our biggest concern is high tide and storm surge.
Part of the West Coast preparing for inches of rain, flooding, and gusty winds. The area is seeing the impacts this morning.
WPBF 25 News Mornings starts now.
All right, 5:30 here on your Sunday morning. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Taylor Hernandez.
And I'm Erin Guy. Much of the Southeast closely watching Tropical Storm Debbie as they're waking up this morning. And while the storm is not making landfall right here, our area is still seeing some impacts from all that tropical weather. And we have team coverage with everything you need to know as you're waking up this morning. We begin with First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
50-mile-an-hour winds at its core. No defined eye yet. It's still just a strong tropical storm, but it's entering a very favorable environment. The hot waters, almost bathtub of the Gulf of Mexico, 86 to 87 degrees. That means intensification. So as it intensifies, it's moving north-northwest at 13 miles an hour. With the hot waters, likely becomes a Category 1 hurricane at some point overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, picking up momentum and velocity as it spins toward Tallahassee, Thomasville, just to the west of Florida's Big Bend, and then continues to traverse east over the Georgia coastline and then maybe north again up through the coast of the Carolinas. Quite a long shelf life, interesting track for sure. Now, for us, we have seen indirect effects. Yesterday, we saw those blasts of heavy rains intermittently throughout the afternoon. We had a tornado warning last night in extreme southern Palm Beach County, and we're in the marginal risk for isolated severe storms or maybe a spin-up tornado or water spout again today. We're on the leading edge or the outer edge of the bands, but as the spin develops further and it gains momentum and velocity toward that landfall, we'll see some more whip around bands, and that could mean a risk of severe weather. Live radar is showing all the cluster of showers and storms right now pretty much in the Gulf of Mexico. We're in between things right now. Still a flood watch up for the entire area as well as high surf advisories. But Vanessa, you're going to get more specific on the impacts that we're actually going to see today.
That's right. So later in the afternoon or even in the mid-morning hours, we'll see those isolated showers, a few strong thunderstorms developing out east and then tracking towards the northwest into our area from Sebastian down into West Palm. So we'll see a few pockets of heavy rains and then a break of the rain. And then we'll do it again in the afternoon hours as well. Those outer rain bands will be spreading across the Treasure Coast, even parts of Clewiston, Belle Glade, and northern Palm Beach County until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. Then things will be looking much better into the overnight hours once that Debbie just moves towards the north and northeast. Meanwhile, sustained winds anywhere between 25 to 27 miles per hour down into Boca Raton. Very blustery out there, especially east of I-95. For Okeechobee today, hour by hour, we'll see those warm temperatures just below 90 degrees, still warm and humid with a nice breeze out there, but we're keeping those rain chances alive at least until 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening. Not a complete washout day, but we'll see those rain chances picking up later this afternoon, and then the winds will start to subside on Tuesday. Oh, here's Glenn.
Oh, hi, Vanessa. Yeah, we're driving south right now on A1A, getting pretty close to Broward County, but Vanessa can show you on the radar there that we do have a couple of pretty heavy downpours working up along the coast. That is certainly a risk. I heard Vanessa mention it, Sandra too, that we do have the chance for some isolated tornadic activity throughout the day today, and water spouts were an issue last night. We saw a lot of rotation out over the water. Of course, there's not a lot of cameras out there. It's not a lot of people out there to take video of water spouts, especially at night, but during the day today, I think we'll get a better view of that as some of these showers work up along the coast. So you can see us driving here down to the south a little bit, and what we're going to be watching for, we're already hearing it now. Let me see if I can get you a shot of the trees here as we drive through. Pretty gusty winds right down here by the beach, and we're going to see a lot more of that throughout the day today. We could see pretty close to tropical storm force wind gusts during the day as some of these bands move through it, especially later this afternoon and this evening as some of that heavier rainfall pushes on in, and the increased risk for isolated tornadic activity as those bands cross the state from southwest to northeast, just swirling around Debbie as it begins to move across the northern part of Florida. So we're going to be out here in the live tracker this morning, looking around, showing you exactly what the roads look like. If you have travel plans this morning, just be careful because these showers come up fast and it is some heavy rainfall, really reducing visibility quickly. For now, we're heading up. Looks like we got a little something coming up ahead here. We'll come back in the live tracker as we enter some heavy downpours here and give you an idea of what we're watching for as Debbie works its way up the west coast of Florida. I'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, you know, Glenn, I think one of the remarkable traits with these downpours is the wind that's embedded in them.
Yes.
It's like that horizontal rain that you see, and that's what, as he was mentioning, the visibility becomes a problem.
And the
because
wind
you just
gusts
can't see.
Right, and the wind gusts could be anywhere between 45 to even 60 miles per hour.
And the thing that you have is you have two things going on. One, you have the angle of the band coming in, so it has some forward motion to it. But also, as the rain comes down out of the sky, it pulls wind down with it. And when that wind hits the ground, it spreads out really quickly. So you get those extra gusts from those heavy downpours. It's really something.
All right, I'm glad he's in the weight of the live tracker. Thanks, Glenn.
All right, good information. Thank you so much. Well, Florida Power and Light keeping a close eye on the storm, obviously, because that's always a concern when you've got storms like this.
Yeah, of course. Don't want to lose power. Local crews preparing to respond if there are any needs here or in other parts of the state. So why don't we go to Josie Carbonari, who's live at FPL's command center in West Palm Beach with the ongoing efforts there. Josie.
Well, Taylor, Aaron, so that sporadic rain and wind that we were just talking about with Glenn, that's exactly what FPL crews are keeping an eye on in case of power outages because of that. Looking over the numbers right now, as of this morning in Palm Beach County, they're looking at close to 300 customers without power in Palm Beach County, 50 in Martin, 7 in St. Lucie, 28 in Indian River, and so far none reported in Okeechobee. Over in Broward, they're looking at over 1,500 outages right now. And across the state, especially over on the West Coast, Big Bend and the Panhandle, FPL crews have been trimming trees in preparation for Tropical Storm Debbie. All of this to reduce the chance of branches potentially taking down power lines. While the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast are not expected to take a direct hit, FPL says everyone should be prepared.
Make sure you have your plan in place. Know what you'll do if a hurricane threatens Palm Beach County. Know what you'll do in the event of a power outage. Know that we're going to work to get the lights back on, but know what your plan is for you and your family, and above all else, keep safety top of mind.
And we're told utility crews from out of state, they are on standby in affected areas. Reporting live from West Palm Beach, I'm Josie Carbonari, WPBF 25 News.